So I wanted to create some decorative elements for the book launch of my first book, Her Kind of Luck. We're going to have a big launch at Berkeley Books in Paddington with over 100 people, and I wanted to have some cool elements that represent my book and people can interact with to take photos. So I decided I'd like to create a backdrop and a photo frame that people could hold to take pictures in.
At Reverse Garbage in Marrickville, we're looking for something we can use as a base structure for the photo wall. So there's lots of abandoned materials here. Let's see what we can find.
This is like a corporate banner, which I feel like is just wide enough. It's a little more narrow than I would have wanted, but I feel like we can use this somehow. The only thing is, it has a round bottom, which seems somewhat strange, and it should have, I'm pretty sure, a pole that runs up the back to keep it upwards. But we did find these plastic things that maybe could go on the end like that, and then stand flat. So I'm hoping something like that will make it stand up, and then we just need to find some sort of hole in any of these tubs that we can use to keep it upright. Wish us luck. Okay, so we found this cord. I'm actually liking this better because it's so lightweight and it almost is standing up on its own. I think we can use these plastic things to create a support for the bottom, and it should stand up. I like it. But we found this frame at $6, and I feel like it would be a good photo booth kind of thing. So we're gonna grab that as well. For a photo frame that people could hold at the book launch, I wanted to do something a little bit different. This is an idea that a lot of people use at parties and weddings, and it can be a bit cliche. You see it a lot, and I wanted to do something with a bit of a twist. So I found this vintage mirror at Reverse Garbage. My book cover has gold lettering on it, so I painted it gold to match the cover. And then I wanted to use elements of the cover art inside the frame so that people can sort of be inside the illustrations of the book and like immersed in the story. Brio Books created beautiful cover art for my book, which includes waves, jasmine, which is an element of the story, broken heart, feathers, and a key and clover, all in the style of embroidery. Because I couldn't sort of embroider it in the same style of the book, I wanted to look like cutouts of a picture book. I decided to print out the elements of the cover in colour on white paper. So I knew this was going to result in sort of a white outline, and it could look a bit dodgy. I think in situations like that, the best thing to do is to lean in. So I left a really big white outline around the outside, so it would look like sort of almost like a colouring in book, like pop out, clearly cut out shapes. I think if you're not sure if something's going to work, just make it look intentional. So I used foam board and printed out some images, stuck them on the foam board, and then used a penknife to cut around them. I borrowed a hot glue gun from my brother. I've never used one before. I've been watching a lot of Rachel Burke's I Make Instagram clips on Instagram, and she's always using a hot glue gun, so I was like, I can do this. And it worked really well to glue the cover elements to the inside of the frame. I also was going to cut letters out of foam board, the letters Her Kind of Luck, to go on the inside of the frame. Usually I would always make something like that myself because I'm always trying to save money and make crafts on the lowest possible budget. But in this case, I had 1 week till my book launch. I was very anxious. Writing a memoir, by the way, is terrifying. So I wanted to reduce the amount of time I would spend. So I went to Linkcraft and bought letters. They were $3 each, and then painted them navy to match the cover and glue gunned them to the inside of the frame. For the backdrop, I wanted to include elements of pictures of my great-grandmother Shan-Yi. The book is a combination of biography about Shan-Yi and memoir about my personal experience of recovering from mental illness and researching her life. So I wanted a lot of imagery of her and also to incorporate some imagery from the cover art.
So I've just been to Officeworks, printing, black and white printing of images. So I spent about $18 on black and white printing A3 size and A4 size pictures of letters and photographs. Let me find one. Here's one. This is a nice photograph. So they will be collaged all over the backdrop. And then I also printed out these big flowers in colour. I did not want to pay for A2 or A1 printing because that's really expensive. So I've printed A3 and the flowers extend over multiple pages, which will need to be placed together to make the whole flower. It was just the cheapest way to do it. And it worked really well. Everyone enjoyed taking photos on the night and we ended up with some great snaps from the book launch. People were able to see pictures of Shan-Yi and get a sense of her life and created a beautiful atmosphere and a really fun night for everyone.